And all right, let me know if that is better. Okay, no sound. Let's keep trying and see if that is better. There's a little bit of a delay, so give me 1 second and see if I can figure this out. Okay, can you guys hear me now? Is there still no sound? All right. Let's try this. Let's see. Oh, I can hear you now. Wait. All right. Yay, I can hear you now. Okay. Give me a thumbs up. I can hear you now. I think we're good. I touched another button, so hopefully I didn't get it back to the wrong. There's a delay, so then if I pushed another button again, you might not hear me again. So hopefully I left it in the right spot. Are we still good? Give me another thumbs up. I want to know that you guys can hear me. All right. So you guys are, I am, usually you guys see my face, but I am just back from Utah. Just flew back tonight or this afternoon. And you don't want to see me right now. So I was in Utah for 2 weeks seeing my brand new grandson, who is now 3 weeks old. So that is awesome. And was there for 2 weeks, and I'm exhausted, but it was fun. So we missed you guys for a couple weeks. We are live in our YouTube channel, and we're going to be doing that instead of Facebook from now on. And we will share a link back in Facebook so you guys can get to us from there. So since Easter is coming up just around the corner, can't believe this month is going so fast. We're using our He is Risen stamp set. I thought it would be fun to do a little shadow, like a little window box or window card, because what I did with this set of dies, instead of doing a die that just wrapped in and around this little image, I thought that would look a little bit wonky. I thought it'd be better to do more of a framed look, which I think looks really cool. I did an example of that on this card. I just think it looks really nice, and then you can use those dies for, you know, any other card that you have. I just thought that would be a better choice. So with that being said, I thought this would also make a really great window card. So that's what we're doing. And we're gonna make the card first, and then I'm gonna do a little coloring. We're gonna do a little stenciling. So a couple different things with this combination here. So let's go ahead and get started. Our card base for this is 4 1/4 by 11.5. Now, if you're using your standard 8.5 by 11 cardstock, not a big deal. You can do it and just add the tab. We're building a tab onto this. But again, so if you are using the smaller cardstock, you can still make this card. So I have 4 1/4, 11.5. We're going to score it at 5.5 and 11. So here is 5.5. And then if I had my bigger scoreboard out, you would do it 11. Not a big deal. I'm going to just rotate it around, and we're just doing it at 1/2 inch over here. And then you're going to fold this in. Now, depending on your scoreboard, some scoreboards are just, I think, off slightly. This one, you're going to want this to tuck inside, which this actually works great because that fold, the way I did it, it made that top flap slightly under. And then, again, you just, before we finish out the card, that key is that flap is going to fold over there. Okay, so now we can get rid of this. And we're going to get our die out, which I just put away. Okay, so this has 2 different layers. The base, our little illustration, I cut with the bigger piece because we're going to put that underneath. And then the window I want shorter so that you don't see the edge of that. So the smaller piece we're going to cut on here. And I always just eyeball it. I am going to put a banner on the inside down below. So I'm going to go slightly above center here. And just center left and right. Again, I'm not worried too much that, I mean, you can measure it and line up to make sure it's exact, but I rarely do that. Okay, I'm just going to die cut this. This is just a simple window card. I just thought it would be fun to show you. So I'm going to take this off. Here's your scrap, but I love that shape, so I'll use that for some other card. Okay. So there is that. We don't need this because I already cut one. Then this shape here is the mountain. And I already pre-colored that one. But I'm going to go ahead. I cut another one out of the same material or the same paper. So you just make an extra one of these. Then we are done with our dies. All right. Then here is your base. And then this is going to go tuck underneath. And this is going to glue on top. Now, what I thought would be fun is if this had a magnet in it so that it really held it closed. So before we attach our inside, I'm going to go ahead and assemble this with the magnet. So make sure this is going to be like that. So I'm going to put some glue on the bottom of this. All right. And I'm not going to go all the way down. I have it up just slightly. Okay. Then you've got, I'm using these magnets. I have tried a lot of different ones. These are kind of my favorite. I like the size of them. You're just going to want a plus and a negative of these. They're nice and thin. See those? All right. So I'm going to stick, again, we're going to be covering this up. So one of them is going to be in here. We're going to cover that. Okay. So I put one here and I use a sticky. Then I put one in here. Well, that's not really. You just want to know where it's going to. It should probably have. Okay. That's all right. All right. Now I'm going to do this a little awkwardly. This is going to go on the inside. Ah! I totally didn't do that in the right direction, but okay. Stick that down first. Okay. Ignore me. I totally didn't do that in the right direction of things, guys. I'm going to stick that down there. Now I can stick that on. Make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay, pretend I did that better. Okay. All right, then we're going to cover this up in a minute. So, totally did that backwards. And then we can use this to cover this one up. There is a totally better way to do that. I just didn't do it in the right order of things, so. Did I tell you I didn't get a lot of sleep last night? And then I flew back today, so that's my excuse. All right, now we're going to cover this up right along the edge. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to end up covering that up, and then this is going to work out perfectly. Okay. So let's go ahead and color, and then we'll add that inside piece. So I'm going to move this to the side. Again, you know, I totally did that backwards. That's okay. All right. These are the colors that we're kind of using. I'm using my Olo markers. But I want to do, let's do this first. All right. I am going to use our little stencil here. I'm going to cover up his face. Use some yellow. Let's hold this in place. I don't want to get it on his little, on his clothes. So I'm just going to do it carefully, brush away. Around the outside. There we go. All right. Now what you can do, if you want to, is cover up his face a little bit more. There we go. And add a little bit more yellow right behind him. And we can take that off. There we go. And there's Jesus, the glow behind him. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. All right. Now we're done with the yellow. And then I pulled out a couple other blues. This is some Distress Oxide blue. And I'm going to go around this whole edge. If you wanted, you could stamp this whole image just on the inside of the card and not even use this extra layer, but I think this makes it pop. It's a little bit more fun. Plus, this is, if you're going to use the magnet, you need something to cover that inside magnet. So I think that's all it needed for the blue. Just a little bit of that. All right, now let's go ahead and color him in. So I'm going to get my little colors out so you can kind of follow along a little bit. So for his face, we're going to use, I'm going to use the 4-1. And his little feet. Okay, and this is pretty small, so you don't have to worry about too much shading. I love purple when I'm doing, like, if I want something to be kind of more white but has a royal feel to it, like Jesus. So I'm going to add these purples, the blue violets, just where it's going to be darker, around the edges. I had this out a second ago, so it's a little bit juicier than usual. And then my light. So it just has this nice purple glow to it. All right. And then the greens that I use, I love these greens, the YGs. And we've got 8.3 and 8.5. Again, these are teeny, so I don't worry about like perfectly staying in the lines. Especially right now because I don't even have my glasses on, so no, gonna worry about it. Just touch it lightly. And then give it a little bit of a base. I just used the light. I didn't even do the dark. Well, you know, it would be nice to have a little dark green in there. Maybe with these bigger ones. Yep, I think that's all it needs. And some yellow flowers. And then let's do the pink. And do the little butterflies in the pink. Just have fun with it. And these are small, so did forget a few little leaves in here. There we go. All right. There is that piece. All right, so this is where we're going to cover this up. This is going to be great. And I just got to get it in the right position. So if you mark that, kind of see where you're going to go. When you close this, you don't want the edge to show. So I'm just eyeballing it. Okay. And I'm going to just make a little pencil mark. That's going to work. Let's glue this down. Okay, take this sticky off. So like I said, I did this kind of backwards. I probably would have been best to put my magnet on the bottom first, but it's going to work. Okay, now I'm going to cover this up. There's a sticky, but here's this. It's covering up that magnet. And then we have this little bar. So this is where you can write a little sentiment down here on the bottom. So I left enough room for that. You don't have to add this piece. You could just write on the blue your little sentiment, but I just thought it was kind of a nice little added decorative piece. All right. So you've got your magnet that's hidden underneath here. When this is closed, that keeps your card closed. Then we've got Rejoice. I went ahead and die cut this out twice. So I like it when it's a little chunkier. You could make, cut out like 3 or 4 of these and stack them. It just creates more dimension. But I just thought I'd do 2. And then I'm going to say Rejoice here. Do that at an angle. Rejoice. And then let's do He is risen. Just line this up before I make sure I'm gluing it in the right direction. hope you guys have had a wonderful week, and hope you found some time to get artsy. While I was in Utah, we had our Stamp of the Month Club. The Artsy Clubhouse stamps go out, and so that's been great that those were able to ship. So we can see Rejoice He is Risen. So we could put this off of there, or maybe this is a little surprise in here. Oh, I kind of like that. He is risen, and then you open it there. Or do we want it? I kind of want to do it right here, so it's kind of hidden. Can put it in a lot of different places here. Okay. All right. I love the way that pops. Okay. He is risen. Look at that. So I love the fact that it's, you've got these different layers to it. Now here's a couple other images. We could easily put some more images on here. I don't know that it really needs that, but you could easily do that. You open it up, and there's your sentiment. Fun. That magnet really helps kind of finish that off. Let me show you a couple other cards that I did with this set. So here's another one. I love using these images together, kind of starting with this in the foreground, and then you've got this on the inside. This, I just did a flat panel, but you easily could just put like score tape on 3 sides and make that a pocket for like if you're going to do a little gift card or something for somebody. Then this one, I just use these 2 images. I love all the extra layers, and you'll see that I use purple a ton when I'm doing Easter cards. And then this one for a slimline card. And yeah, I think this makes a great, you could do the whole scene this way, and I use my grass dies for that. So anyway, I hope that gives you guys some ideas. I know Easter is literally just around the corner, but there is still time if you still want this stamp set. And, and also know that die you can do, use a lot of things on a lot of different cards. So that is it. It's a quick one today because I'm going to be heading home and getting my much needed rest. But I hope you guys had fun with this. Make time this week for yourselves to get artsy, and we will see you next Monday night.